What's going on, my YouTube brothers and sisters? If you have a Polaris ATV, or it could be any ATV really, but this happens to be a 2006 Trailblazer 250, and I know the Trail Boss has a similar handlebar switch setup. If you've been following my channel, you know we did a complete redo on this quad. It had all sorts of issues, just wasn't running, seized up starter, carburetor issues, flywheel issues, stator issues, just had tons of issues. This thing sat unridden for quite a few years. So we're about to wrap it up. The last thing we were going to do was swap out the rear brake pads down there because they were completely shot. And it's been, during our testing, it's been running really well since we completely finished it up as far as mechanically. And today I go over here and turn the key on, to try and just fire it up one more time. And the indicator was not on. The tail light was not on. But the headlight did work, no problem. So I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Nobody touched anything. Nothing has happened to it. Hadn't even been ridden other than around the parking lot. So I was totally, you got to be seriously kidding. Okay. Many people have all sorts of things that it could be. Now this model does not have normal fuses. It has an inline, this fusible link, that thing in a bag right there, if you see that thing right there, that little bag is called a fusible link. Sure, that could have failed, but it's not likely, because nothing happened. Nothing failed all of a sudden. So what we found was the connection here from the harness to the handlebar switch had an issue, because you could just jiggle this right here, or you could jiggle this around, and it would light up properly. And we already had this spare on hand. But looking at the old one, here's the original. Now I'm not totally sure, we're not a Polaris shop or anything. We just work on stuff. I'm not sure if inside there is supposed to be grounded to the handlebar, because it's got a screw that goes inside there that you tighten down. That may only be just to keep it from spinning and rotating on the handlebar, but it could be a grounding issue as well, because it was rather dirty inside there. If you see, just some buildup and corrosion. I mean, you're talking almost 15-year-old ATV. All this stuff is original. Anyway, so what we did was just, unplug these connectors here. Very easy. You just push that tab right there, and these guys will come out if I had an extra hand. We cleaned out the pins for the wiring itself. Used some dielectric cleaner. Some of that stuff right there. You get it at any auto parts store, Walmart, or whatever. And then clean it out with a simple brush. As far as the connectivity itself right there. And but if that still doesn't resolve yours, but jiggling it does show a difference, you might have to replace the handlebar switch assembly itself. You can get these imported, on eBay pretty cheap. You don't have to get the official Polaris one that costs like $70+. You can get them much cheaper and they work fine. So anyway, the issue is basically right in here. So it's either, just corroded, needs cleaning. Maybe the pins have moved inside here. Anyway, very simple. Now she lights up normally down there. So if your battery is good, your grounding is good all throughout the vehicle, you got several ground points underneath the bodywork, but you're not getting any lights other than the headlight, hopefully that's all it is for you. Some people replace the entire ignition switch right here. Also not difficult to do. It's right back behind there. No big deal. Or you replace the handlebar switch assembly. Both of those not very difficult, but just want to let you know what we found, and we already knew everything else was good on this thing. So those are the last two things that haven't been replaced, basically, was the handlebar switch. You know, whatever. Always comes down to the final thing. Also, did another video on the tail light bulb. This guy right here. Hard to find. It's not the usual automotive 1157. It doesn't work quite that well. I mean, it'll fit, but it doesn't work. Not for very long. The voltage is slightly different. So you have to get the 1034. And I found those at Napa Auto Parts. But not many auto parts stores stock that thing, even though it's a common automotive bulb, even though it's mostly for power sport vehicles. And I also saw it for forklifts and stuff, you know. But Batteries Plus online and Napa Auto Parts stock that bulb right there. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in. Anywho, that's it. Check out our videos on this vehicle, 06 Polaris Trailblazer 2-stroke. All kinds of stuff we did to this thing to get her running. And last thing we're going to do is replace the rear brake pads, and she will be done. Anyway, got tons of other stuff on our channel that you might enjoy, or it might help you working on cars, trucks, vehicles, dirt bikes, ATVs, Harley Davidsons, you know, older stuff, newer stuff. We got stuff everywhere, so check it out. Y'all have a great day. We shall see y'all later.